Well, to ensure the optimal exploitation of Namibia's petroleum resources and meaningful participation in petroleum-related exploration activities, the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia, Namcor, is co-hosting a seminar this week titled Gas and Oil, the Basics. Now, Obeth Kandjoze, the manager of Namcor, the managing director of Namcor, and Clara, Altobell, asset manager at Serica Energy, which are co-hosting the seminar, are here to tell us what the seminar will focus on and the state of the oil and gas sector in Namibia. Very good morning to you and welcome.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, Mr. Kandjoze, can you perhaps just give us a brief background in terms of why Namcor had decided to put together a seminar of this nature?
Good morning, sir, and good morning, everybody. The need arose out of the fact that oil and gas over the last couple of years has really found its foothold in the Namibian economy. Countries or companies international and oil and gas companies, local and international, have actually increased their footprint in terms of taking up acreage to explore and try and find oil. As a result, the larger public and we all are witnesses to the many articles, to the many writings and reports from newspapers around this industry becoming very fledgling and growing even more. There was then the need for the public to get involved. What is it all about? What is oil and gas? And what are the basics of it? How can the ordinary individual out there participate, into this mainstream industry, such that the chances are made available to not just those of us at the top of it, in the middle of it, but everybody in the country at large. That's basically the need as to why we got there. Educating people a little bit about the specifics of geology, geophysics, engineering in the petroleum sense.
Well, Ms. Altobell, why did Serica Energy decide to get involved in the seminar?
I've been very active in the Society of Petroleum Engineers. Serica Energy is based in London, and I was in the board of the Petroleum Engineers in London, and I organised a similar event there, and it was very popular. It's for people that work in the industry, but they're not qualified geologists, they're not qualified engineers. They may be lawyers, they may be in IT, they may be accountants, but they're working in an industry that they don't really understand. So this seminar brings together experts. So we have people from Murphy Oil, people from Serica, people from Schlumberger, who are multinational oil companies and service companies. They give their time for free, and they are happy to come and present the basics of their field of expertise. So like Obeth said, geology is the foundation really of the oil industry. If you don't understand geology, you can't find oil unless it's by accident. But it doesn't happen very often. So you need to know the science behind it, and petroleum engineering and Serica are going to talk about drilling. So it's a good opportunity for the oil companies to give something back and to explain their complicated technology in a basic way so that people understand it.
Mr. Kandjoze, can you perhaps just paint a picture for us of the state of oil and gas in the country, of the sector?
After 25 years, I can characterize it as very strong now.
Right.
It's growing. There's continued interest from international explorers. Namibia has actually offered in return that stability that locks everybody in. It's perceived a potential margin that could have very good things for the world and in particular for Namibia. So I tend to think that we are in good space. We just need to work on the gearings, the nuts and bolts of it. We need to keep throwing that investment, not only money, technology, human resources, and everything else around the industry for us to actually nip it in the bud and bring it closer for it to remain solid.
And you're saying that this could possibly be, or is currently, a good contributor to the economy, the gross domestic product of the country?
You see, oil and gas remains the lifeblood of many economies. In fact, all economies in the world are powered by this resource. So Namibia cannot afford to just be layperson around it. It needs to get into the mainstream of it. It needs to begin to understand what it is all about, because when it happens, there's going to be serious changes almost everywhere in the society.
If you look at it, of course, you said you've organized a seminar, of course, also in London, and have been involved in other projects. What are some of the biggest challenges that people in the sector are facing, especially where information is concerned?
Geology is very difficult. You get seismic data, but it doesn't tell you where the oil is. You have to interpret it. And until you find a big oil discovery, it's difficult to get the bigger companies to keep investing. So you drill a well, and unless you get a big discovery, it's always harder to drill the next well and the next well. There hundreds of millions of dollars of investment is needed to drill a well in an area that, you know, you have a 20% chance of finding oil. So it's to just keep doing it. You need to keep drilling wells. You need to keep convincing companies that Namibia is a good place to drill wells. We have good data now. Companies are going out and getting the seismic, and it is only a matter of time until you find a discovery, but you need to keep drilling wells. So it's keeping that momentum up to get the companies to invest significant money to drill exploration wells.
At the moment, Sub-Saharan Africa is sort of the focus area for hydrocarbon investment. What's Namibia's role in that? I mean, do we have a role to play at all?
Yeah, we do. We are one of those destinations or frontiers in the world that has the potential. Of course, last year you knew, we all got the news that, you know, the reservoir is there. That's the place that holds it. The source rocks, that's where it's all cooked and generated. Those two issues were confirmed, and that's a very significant step forward. So our role in this whole thing, and in the African context, and you know, all of us today are very aware that Africa is the place for the future. That's the continent for the next employment or the next series of serious jobs, simply on the basis of resources. So Namibia is part of that offer to the world. Namibia is part of that group of countries that can potentially contribute to unlocking the job market, to unlocking the world's next biggest growth in terms of the basis of resources it has. So certainly I am not in a space where I'm doubtful about it, because at least the key issues around oil and gas were unlocked at the little bit of recovery of what we've had last year. So from that sense, we are a big part to play.
Let's look at the final logistical details, time, date, and of course place, the venue.
It's at the Arrowbush Travel Lodge.
Right.
It's tomorrow morning with a 7:30 a.m. registration. It is fully booked out. We've had a great response from members of the public, and we're not taking any more registrations. But there should be 150 people at least attending this seminar, so we're really pleased with the response.
Well, thank you very much for making time out to join us this morning.
Thank you.
There we have it. That was Mr. Obeth Kandjoze, the Managing Director of Namcor, and we're also joined in studio by Asset Manager of Serica Energy, Clara Altobell. Stay with us, we'll be back with more.